Very good afternoon, everybody. Lovely gentlemen. Very warm welcome and very good afternoon. It's lovely to see you all here at the launch of the United for Wildlife Whose Side Are You On campaign. I am here to do the introduction, so obviously, given the size of the crowd outside, a couple of people on the stage probably don't really need introductions. But I will be doing that, all the same. Just to tell you a little bit about what's going on here this afternoon. Around the world, the illegal wildlife trade is responsible for the slaughter of tens of thousands of animals a year, pushing some of our most loved species to the brink of extinction. And many of these species have come to represent the whole idea of wildlife to young and old alike. I mean, we just have to imagine, don't we? A world perhaps without elephants, without lions, without rhinos. The trade doesn't just affect animals as well, though. It's killing people too. Poachers murder at least 2 park rangers every single week. Local communities as well that depend on wildlife for their future are losing millions of years of natural heritage as well, at a rate which is certain to impoverish the next generation too. So what can be done? How can poaching be stopped? And how can the trade as well be stopped? Let's hear from His Royal Highness, the Duke of Cambridge. He has a plan and he would like to share it with us. Very warm welcome.
Thank you, Louise. Last year, we created United for Wildlife, a powerful global alliance of 7 of the most influential conservation organisations and the Royal Foundation to tackle wildlife crime. In February, we set out our commitments to improve protection and enforcement, reduce demand, and to help the business community to tackle international trafficking. That was our first step, but we knew we needed to do more to bring this trade into the open. The illegal wildlife trade thrives because it is hidden, often invisible, making it easy for criminals to build and expand their violent greed. We wanted to find a way to show the world what was happening. If you're alarmed by this, this is how you can show your support.
This isn't just our world. We're sharing it. It may sound obvious, but every species that vanishes from our planet is gone, forever. Every species that is lost is stolen from our children. Today, right now, there are 2,000 critically endangered species, animals we all know who find themselves at the edge of extinction. Enough is enough. United for Wildlife is a movement for a generation which will not let that happen. A generation that will not stand by while our species destroys others. We want to act. We want to make a difference. We need to do it while there is still time. And sport is how we're going to start. No matter how you participate in a United for Wildlife event, you can make a critical difference. And by doing so, you support our work with projects big and small the world over. So, whether you watch, play, or organise, you can play your part. It's time to choose between critically endangered animals and the criminals who kill them for money. It really is that simple. So join us. We are United for Wildlife. Whose side are you on?
Our plea is this. Join us and help stop the illegal poaching. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, every team needs inspirational leaders, doesn't it? So we have David Beckham, who is going to be heading an extraordinary team of global ambassadors who will be supporting United for Wildlife around the world. You can see them there, but I'm going to name them anyway. Andy Murray, Lewis Hamilton, Prince Harry, Francois Pienaar, Rahul Dravid, Yao Ming, Sir Matthew Pinsent, Hans Sharpe, the Leicester Tigers, and of course, the Duke of Cambridge. So David Beckham, we have checked the room. I know you're not a big fan of insects and creepy crawlies. There are none. You are here to tell us about these amazing people and your plan. Very warm welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you for welcoming us with open arms here today. We're very proud to be here. I first got involved with Wild Aid when I was obviously honoured from Prince William actually asking me and inviting me to get involved with Wild Aid. And we did this campaign with Prince William and with Yao Ming, and I think it was a very strong campaign. And I started to really find out and examine exactly what was going on, and it's devastating. It really is devastating. And we're in a world where our generation and the younger generation can really, really make a difference, and we need to do it now. Are we on side of the criminals, or are we on the side of the animals? I know what side we're all on, and I'm sure we know what side you're all on. So please continue to support this. It's something that we all feel very passionate about. As lead ambassador, I'm very proud to also be part of an amazing team and an amazing array of famous faces that are very important to this organisation and very important to this cause. So thank you again, and continue for this support, because I can't tell you how important it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Now, no one knows more about the courage and determination it takes to tackle wildlife crime on the front line than our next guest, who is Emmanuel de Merode. He's been director of Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo since 2007. Protecting Virunga during years of civil war has been incredibly hard, and these are the figures. 130 of the park's rangers have been killed in the last decade. Emmanuel has one of the most dangerous jobs in conservation, and in April of this year, he was ambushed and shot on the road from Goma to Virunga. And I mean, I've just been speaking to him in the last few moments or so. A lucky escape doesn't really do it justice. Were you shot twice? Yep. Extraordinary, and that was only in April. He is still, I imagine, still in recovery, but he is, I'm delighted here to talk to us today. Emmanuel, very warm welcome.
Thank you, Louise. Thank you ever so much. I can't tell you how impressed and amazed I am at the significance of what's happening in this room. And so I wanted just to outline a few thoughts about what it means to us, what it means to a small team of rangers who've been working for many, many years in a park in Central Africa. I think it's reflective of the situation for many park rangers in the world. But I think the situation is changing. I think there's a time, it's now a time for optimism and energy. But I wanted just to start by sharing with you a very short film about Virunga that sets the scene and does it far better than I could. Certainly this park used to be, without a question of doubt, one of the greatest parks in the world. It used to have the highest large mammal concentrations on Earth. But of course it's the mountain gorillas that are what make the southern sector so special. They remain a critically endangered species and also a big part of this country's future. The real sadness is that there's been war for 20 years. When there's war on this scale, everything suffers.
We are like a target now. The rebels are just behind here. They are just shooting in the gorilla sector. It's very, 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 very bad.
We have about 280 rangers at the moment. Since the war started, 130 of our staff have been killed.
où il y a les hommes qui sont perdus. Vous savez, c'est un travail où on s'adonne. Nous sommes encore là. Il faut revivre.
What this region needs more than anything else is peace. The Rangers of Virunga can become major players in building a peaceful future for Eastern Congo. Virunga could be the source of hundreds of thousands of employments, quality jobs for a young generation of Congolese.
On parvient à sauver la vie de ce gorille, vraiment on se sent qu'on a fait un travail vraiment très significatif pour notre pays.
It's the greatest park on earth, and it's something that absolutely has to be protected, no matter what. So Virunga's been an incredible story. It's not unique. I think like I said, many parks in Africa have lived through that same journey. But for me, it started 20 years ago, coming to Congo for the first time, wanting to work in wildlife conservation. I bought a motorbike in Kampala and rode westwards and crossed the border into this incredible landscape that is Congo, and for the first time met Virunga's rangers and learnt about their struggle, their efforts, which had been going on for a very long time. At the time, we were at the height of the Second Congolese Civil War, and not a single ranger had abandoned their post. They hadn't been paid for years. Dozens and dozens of them had been killed, and they were very much on their own. During those first few years, I developed an obsession, which was to stay with them and to do what I could to work with them. But really, I was just bearing witness to their suffering and to their efforts. And it was at that point that one of the organizations that's now one of the founding members of United for Wildlife approached me and started supporting us in Virunga, and things began to change. And slowly, things built up over the years. But of course, it was at that point that we realized that we were losing the fight. We'd lost 99% of Virunga's hippos, for instance, the hippopotamus population. It was the biggest hippo population on Earth. There were 27,000 hippos in Virunga. It dropped to less than 350. There was the gorilla massacre. Elephants were being depleted. And things were looking incredibly difficult. And we began to realize at that point that as conservationists, it wasn't going to work. We were going to have to spread the partnerships. We were going to need to get a lot of help beyond that. And it was with this realization that wildlife conservation and this effort to address wildlife crime is not just about conservation. That's what's so encouraging about this room, to see so many people from different walks of life getting interested in the topic. But it's about much more. You have to picture wildlife crime in the context of the overall damage that's being done to people's resources. And in Congo, there is perhaps no greater example of that, no more extreme example, because it has provoked a war. And this war has seen the death of over 6 million innocent people. This is a war that's driven by the illegal exploitation of natural resources, of which wildlife crime is a part. And so it's very, very important to see it in that context. You know, we're not just looking after wildlife, as Louise put it so rightly, we're looking after people as well. In addressing these these terrible issues of the illegal exploitation of natural resources, we're also bringing peace to the region, because it's that illegal exploitation that's at the heart of this terrible problem of armed conflict. And so today, I think, I really believe that we're at an important moment. I think things are going to change. We can see it around us, and we can see it by an event such as this. And so all I can say, I would so like to thank you all. I don't know how to do it, except to say that I go back to Virunga, and the first thing that I'll say to the Rangers is that they're an incredibly good company now. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And I would really urge you to join this tremendous effort, which is United for Wildlife. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you to all of you for listening so attentively, for coming today. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Royal Highness. And thank you, David, as well. I'm just going to leave you with that thought, really. United for Wildlife. Whose side are you on? Thank you.